Before Sweeney Todd and Pirates of the Caribbean, Johnny Depp starred in one of the weirdest movies I have ever seen, 1990's Crybaby. This is the most bloody, insane movie I have ever had the privilege of seeing. Like, this is even wilder than Xanadu. Johnny Depp stars as Crybaby, a leather-wearing high schooler with a vengeance and a heart of gold. In his greaser gang is his sister Pepper and his friends Milton, Wanda, and Hatchet Face. Which seems pretty unfair to me. Like, why are two of them nicknamed Crybaby and Hatchet Face, while the others get regular arse names like Wanda?
Making moves, reindeer games.
So for the sake of equality, I'm gonna call them Sneezy, Hairboy, and Cornflake. The movie opens with everybody in the high school waiting in line to get the polio vaccine, which is already pretty wild, because like, can you imagine if all your teachers just had a surprise tetanus shot to celebrate the end of the school year? Like, kids, we know you've been learning about the Spanish flu in history class, so today's 8th period is flu shot time. But all jokes aside, the scene is obviously there for a reason. It's probably setting up the movie's polio-themed plot, right? Oh, what's that? It's pointless and the scene is never brought up again?
I had sex and now Dad is dead. And he had a horrible death because I had incredible sex.
Yeah, we just watched a 3.5-minute scene of people getting the polio vaccine for absolutely no reason. At the end of the scene, though, Crybaby locks eyes with this girl, Allison, who seems absolutely terrified. See, Allison isn't part of them greasers like Crybaby. She's a good girl. But after everyone gets their shots, school lets out and Allison looks at Crybaby again, and this time she immediately falls in love with him. Allison walks over to Crybaby and introduces herself, and he asks her if she wants to hang out that night. But before she can answer, her boyfriend and grandma come over and tell Crybaby to back off, cause how dare he talk to the girl that deliberately walked over and introduced herself. Like, dude, I swear, getting mad at Crybaby for doing literally nothing is a theme in this movie. Allison's grandma pulls her away, but not before Hatchet Face threatens to kill her.
Sometimes shook up old ladies get cut.
Come on, honey.
But hey, that's just Hatchet Face for ya, threatening to kill the elderly left and right, that girl. Later, Crybaby and the gang go to hang out at his grandma's house, and they really want us to know that these lads are from the wrong side of the track.
I stole, and I robbed, and I kidnapped the president's son and held him for ransom.
Cause the first thing we see is Crybaby's uncle washing himself in a bucket. Then Sneezy's kids come out, cause apparently Sneezy has kids, and tell her how they stole a car that day. And then we learn that Crybaby's uncle and grandma are together. Like, together. And I only made that connection as I was writing the script for this video, because it is barely even brought up in the movie. It is treated like a totally normal thing. And honestly, they might have pushed it too far, because I'm starting to side with Allison's grandma. I wouldn't want my kid involved with this family either. But incest and 6-year-old Grand Theft Autos aside, Crybaby's grandma gives him a motorcycle, and Crybaby knows exactly what he has to do. He goes to crash the talent show Allison's grandma is hosting and take Allison on a date. Now, shockingly, Allison's grandma doesn't want her to go. And I mean, I literally can't imagine why. She acts like his family practices incest or something. But Crybaby promises he'll take care of her, and after some begging from Allison, she lets them go.
Just one night of happiness, that's all I ask.
I mean, not really, she just says this.
What if you get your dress dirty?
And Allison acts like she said yes, but whatever. Crybaby takes Allison to a good old greaser hangout, and Allison confesses that she's worried she's not gonna fit in. Crybaby reassures her though, saying,
"You're cool, Allison. You just look square. Underneath it all, I think you're really hip."
And
you got it, Allison. You got it raw.
And the gang is also very reassuring, as they immediately start making fun of her.
I have made a list of people that I would make out with before I would make out with Michael Scott.
Like, this poor girl is just crying her best, and they are completely roasting her.
I don't go make burgers where you work and then tell you how to make burgers.
But there isn't much time for roasting, because apparently the gang has a band. Crybaby turns to Elvis on stage, Hairboy starts playing a cello like a guitar, and Allison is just shoved on stage and magically knows the words to this explicitly Crybaby themed song. And then we just cut scenes. Not another word is said about it. We just completely ignore the fact that they're a band for the rest of the movie. Yep, instead we cut to a scene where Crybaby teaches Allison how to give a French kiss in the most disturbing way possible.
You just open your mouth, and I open mine. We wiggle our tongues together.
Lock this man up. And no way was that necessary. You know what? No, lock John Waters up. He legitimately wrote this scene and thought, yeah, that's good writing. After this fun little lesson though, Allison informs Crybaby that she can't bang him that night because she's an orphan. And I guess orphans can't bang? Like, how does that connect? And it's awful, okay? Like, being an orphan is terrible. But do you want to know how her parents died? They had to take a business trip together, so they each took separate planes to make sure that just in case one crashed, Allison would still have at least one parent. And I would say that's paranoid, but both planes crashed, so I guess parents should never fly together.
Mommy and Daddy took separate planes for safety, you know, in case one plane crashed, I'd still have a living parent. Crybaby, both planes crashed and I never saw my parents alive again.
But lo and behold, Crybaby's an orphan too. And I'm just gonna show you his explanation, because it truly is a glorious scene.
It's just a thunderstorm. Heat, lightning. It's sexy.
It's not sexy. Electricity makes me insane.
Why, Crybaby, why?
Here's why. Electricity killed my parents.
And then suddenly it gets really, really dark.
I do not fear death because I have no reason to live.
Because we learned that Crybaby's dad was a literal terrorist. He was nicknamed the Alphabet Bomber because he bombed places in alphabetical order. And Crybaby's mom tried to stop him, but they just put her in the electric chair too, because they thought she was an accomplice. So now Crybaby does something bad every day to avenge his mom. But since he's got a heart of gold, he sheds a single tear every time he does. Like, guys, this movie just got so dark in the span of 60 seconds. This is a complete 180. Don't worry though, it's about to get really dumb again, because Allison's boyfriend and his gang of pretentious goblins infiltrate the Greasers' hangout. They set Crybaby's motorcycle on fire and start an all-out brawl, in which Allison's boyfriend delivers this just stunning line.
Allison, come home. They beat me and kicked me. All because I love you.
The cops show up and arrest only the Greasers because, you know, they had the bloody nerve to defend themselves. And they're all taken to court. And while everyone else is fined and released...
You happy now, Mona? Huh? You finally did it. You put your own mother in an iron lump.
Sneezy's kids are taken away to the orphanage, and Crybaby is found guilty of rampant juvenile delinquency, which I'm pretty sure isn't a real crime, and sentenced to jail until his 21st birthday. And this isn't pertinent to the plot at all, but later that night, Allison traps her tears in a cup and drinks them for no apparent reason, and oh my gosh, she looks possessed. We're gonna kind of zoom through the rest of this movie, but basically, Crybaby tries to escape jail until his rat friend betrays him.
Thanks, pal.
Patrick Face and Hairboy steal a helicopter, but somehow still fail to break him out. And Sneezy breaks her kids out of the orphanage that looks more like the collector's place from Guardians of the Galaxy. Then Allison starts singing a song outside of the jail, asking them to let Crybaby go. And they just do, probably because the studio was running out of budget by this point.
Here's $3.50 and a pair of clean underwear.
Oh, and we also learned that Allison's old boyfriend is a straight-up sociopath.
And guess who pulled the switch on that jerk? My grandpappy, that's who. And every Christmas since, my whole family gathers together and he retells the story of the day he electrocuted your daddy. And we just laugh.
So he and Crybaby play a game of chicken to settle their vengeances, Crybaby wins, and the movie ends. Roll credits. That's it, folks. So this movie is interesting. I'd like to know personally why, if Crybaby only cries every time he does something bad, why did he start crying when he got the polio vaccine? Was that bad? But anyway, I would 100% recommend that you get some friends together and watch this movie because it is a trip and a half, my guys. And yeah, that's all I got for y'all today. Thank you so much for watching this video. Don't forget to smash that subscribe button, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.